Just like to do a quick self intro. My name is JB Crypto, or Josh, as my real name is. I'm a community manager at Harvest Finance. I'm also a Chinese community manager at 88 MPH, and I'm also a representative at DRC Digital Reserve Currency. I kind of thought I'd come on today and speak a little bit about community in crypto in general. I've got lucky enough to be in a position to be on the team at something amazing like Harvest, something amazing like 88PH, and also DRC. The thing about community in crypto is that it's kind of like nothing else. For me, it's what makes crypto and DeFi in general so special. I'd like to just kind of talk about why. So crypto and DeFi is a special space for three principal reasons, I think. The first one is obviously decentralization. The second one is democratization. And lastly is just the community aspect itself. What does decentralization mean, right? Decentralization in crypto is such a muddy term. It's such a vague term. People throw it around all the time, and it's used to shill. It's used to actually be descriptive, and it's used to kind of justify the heinous gains that people are making on a regular basis. They say, oh, through our decentralized protocols, we are, we're not manipulating anything. We're doing amazing things. And I do think that decentralization is absolutely the most important part of crypto, but also just the most important thing for the next, for this space. The decentralization is so necessary because at the moment, with the centralized world in which we live in, things are kind of taking a bit of a nosedive. For me, the biggest problem is that the centralized world we live in right now is causing us to be very afraid of each other and be afraid of kind of putting ourselves out there and not allowing us to progress by ourselves as individuals. We can't choose what we do. We can't choose what we learn, sorry, is what I mean. The education we receive is from a centralized party, right? They learn all the information they want and they teach it to us. The internet has done a lot to change that. Back in early 2000s, the internet has kind of given education back to the people. You can find what you want online, to an extent. Twitter and Google and even YouTube these days have been censoring left, right, and center. But in general, if you want to learn something, you can learn it. And this kind of equality of opportunity in terms of education is basically what the ethos of crypto is all about, right? It's distributing the opportunities around the world. Finance is the next step, right? Education comes first. Let people learn. Finance is the next step. People understand what they're doing, but they're locked into place by this centralized financial system. Banks control what we do. They control what we buy. They control how we spend our money, how we buy our houses, how we give gifts to our family. Even when you die, your wealth is taxed. Obviously, DeFi is a broad term, and there's lots of things about that kind of differ from what I'm saying here. But DeFi, in its essence, is just, in my opinion, giving the power of money, the power of finance back to the hands of the regular person. And after, first comes education, then comes finance, and after that comes organization, politics, this sort of thing. It's not something that we really need to cover in this video, but it is the next step. It's an important next step. DAOs are, the personification of that. And I'm really glad that they're gaining traction. And I saw in the news in Middle America, there was a DAO bill that got passed that allowed corporate governance at the hands of a decentralized autonomous organization. And that is a huge step. But let's go back to the finance. So finance is concentrated in an increasingly small amount of people's hands. And how do we get past that, right? So I'm just going to segue over to Harvest here. I'm going to pull it up on my screen. Harvest is a bright blue, happy looking place. Here, we've got Chad on a tractor. But what is actually signifying is allowing people to manipulate money how they want, to take advantage of all the opportunities out there from their own computer, right? You have your decentralized wallet, you have your decentralized exchanges, and now you have your decentralized farming communities whereby you can take advantage of all the other people have been building to increase your own wealth. Someone behind a computer who has all of these ideas, who has these skills to code, can create something that turns one person's wealth into more wealth. And this whole kind of system of building on top of each other, specifically right now on Ethereum. Ethereum is the king. I'm sure there's many who want to argue with this, but right now Ethereum is the king, and people are building on Ethereum. But what it's done is it's just, Vitalik's invention has just allowed people to come together, bring their ideas together, and build a new financial system for people to take advantage of. For me, DeFi is synonymous with financial freedom. For example, I left university and worked a couple of jobs. I moved to China to work some jobs, and I got involved in crypto. And you can just sit behind your laptop, so it makes no difference where you are. Even in the most controlled country in the world, you can still find your access to this global system of finance, to this global system of, hey, you have some ingenuity, you don't mind taking a few risks, we're early here, let's make some money. And the best part about it all is that the majority of it is new wealth, so to speak. The majority of the old wealth are either in denial about the rise of cryptocurrency or just, unaware. So yes, we're early. Yes, it's risky. Yes, it's volatile, but it is coming for every single institution. It is coming for every single person. My mum, side note, my mum rang me the other day and she said, "Hey Josh, how do I buy Bitcoin?" So the fact that it's reaching my mother back in the UK shows that it is coming for everyone. Another really important part of the DeFi landscape right now, it's growing every day, and at the moment, you can argue, is it a bubble? Is it not a bubble? Is the NFT landscape. Now, the NFT landscape is a branch of decentralized finance in a way, or decentralized ownership, but it does kind of personify exactly what I was talking about in terms of democratizing the whole thing. You have creators who make art, they make music, they make gifts, they make moon cats or whatever, something as silly as that. But the fact that they are now in control of their own, their own artistic destiny, right? They can put their own art on sale on the mass decentralized markets. They can sell it without a middleman, and the only price they have to pay is the minting fee. Never before has an artist had so much control over what they do. And this is all just adding to the fact that DeFi, cryptocurrency, is just bringing power back into the hands of the people. And whenever people ask me, like, why are you so into crypto? Why do you think it's, what do you not think it's a bubble, blah, blah, blah? I think maybe, potentially, but the ethos is there. The ethos is fact, and there's nothing that can take that away from what crypto is trying to achieve. I'm going to give you an example. So 88 MPH, I work for them. This is their super dope dashboard. One sec. And here you can see 88 MPH FM. This right here is the 88 MPH radio. So this is really cool, actually. This is an NFT, a dynamic NFT, created by the lead dev's kind of friend, I want to say, McFly's friend. It's a guy called @manwithnoname. You should check his stuff out. And he has been releasing NFTs with 88 MPH. He lives in Brazil. He's been releasing NFTs with MPH in a kind of symbiotic partnership. What he's been doing is he's been minting these NFTs that are at request from ATMPH, for example, for this one, for the radio, for example, for liquidity mining rewards or depositor rewards, these kinds of things. And there's no actual payment for these NFTs from the NTMPH team. But what he's doing is he's getting a percentage of the sales. Well, he's getting all of the sales of the NFTs that are on the secondary market. And this kind of relationship between an artist and, really ATMPH is a financial organization in a way. They're providing fixed rate interest for people for, currently $25 million in here. So, it's a real financial institution. And this guy, man with no name, is creating these dope graphics from his home in Brazil, and he is directly selling to customers who are also getting the benefit of owning this super dope NFT that is also dynamic. By the way, I said 25 million TVL. It's at 25 miles per hour. Apparently, when it gets to 88 miles per hour, something special happens. I don't know what, but this kind of symbiotic relationship is new, right? In terms of directly selling to a company your art. There's nowhere else nothing else in history that's been like that. And it's just the beginning. This is the early stage. This is, it looks beautiful, but really it's messy. Crypto is messy. It's still volatile. We don't really know what's happening. And I think it's almost, I don't know, it's almost like a poetic thing how it's happened during COVID. Everyone has had to be at home during the COVID pandemic, and you can't leave your house. You can't spend time with your friends and family, but you can spend time indoors building. And that's what people have been doing. They've been building. Man with no name has been creating art. McFly has been building ATMPH. Myself personally, I've been engaging with the community. So I'm lucky enough to actually have a lot of contact with people. But this whole opportunity that's arisen is actually kind of juxtaposed to the situation. We think, COVID has brought us all indoors and ruined our opportunities. But cryptocurrency and DeFi have created these opportunities for people all around the world. And the best part for me is how your previous experience doesn't really count for anything. I'm going to tell you how I joined the Harvest Finance team, because people ask me, they say, how did you get onto Harvest Finance? And I feel so lucky. They said to me, I was in the Discord server and I was just hanging around there. It was in the second week of Harvest's launch, and I was answering some questions to some people in the chat. They saw that I was being nice and they said, hey, would you like to be a mod? I had no idea what Harvest was. I hadn't really done my research very well. And I said, yeah, why not? So it wasn't based on who I was as a person, my previous experience, my education, the size of my bags, who I knew. It was just based on the fact that I was in the server doing something that they appreciated. And, jobs in general have never functioned like this. And it's almost like, I hate to say it because it sounds a bit, conspiratorial, but it is in some ways a reset. I've got friends who are getting jobs with really great companies. They're getting some top cryptocurrency companies coming out, reaching out to them, and they're being put into contact with these people and given opportunities that they would never have dreamed of having. And they're young, they're inexperienced, they're not particularly wealthy. It's almost as if it's flipping the tables. It's tipping the scales in favor of those who don't really have so much, who are willing to take the risks. Because if you have a lot, you've already got your incumbency, you're a bit stuck in your ways. But those who don't have so much, or those who are, willing to take the risks, are being rewarded tenfold in crypto at the moment. Obviously, things don't last forever, and it's not always going to be up. But crypto as a technology and as an ecosystem is definitely here to stay. For example, MetaFest right here. All these people coming together. I've just had a look at the lineup before I came on here, and I absolutely shat my pants because I saw how illustrious the company is that I'm being followed by. But you know, that's just an example of how amazing this whole space is. That someone like myself, who I don't count myself as someone with a lot of experience or a lot of talent, and I'm being followed by people like Mackie, by people like Julian. The guys who are in charge of Ave, top guys, and it's a great. Uh, it's just a real opportunity. Crypto in general is a real opportunity, and the thing that I hope comes out of this the most is that people who didn't think they had a shot a year, 2 years ago, are going to come out of this and they're going to be able to really change their lives and change the lives of people around them. So, speaking of changing your lives, I'd like to kind of segue into community, kind of the reason I'm here. So, community, I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to type it in. One sec. All right. Community literally is defined as a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. Now, obviously, with COVID as it is, we are not in the same place, but we are all people with commonalities. Our commonalities are togetherness here. Honestly, let's be honest, making money. That's what a lot of us are here for. And for hopefully the majority, the tech, the vision of cryptocurrency and decentralization. So the thing I think about cryptocurrency communities is that they are some of the most warm and intelligent communities that I've ever been in. Of course, you can go back to DeFi Summer or some Discord channels of Binance Smart Chain pumpers, and you'll find some really toxic people, some real poisonous characters. But in general, if you go to any kind of serious place, I mean, if you go to the metagame Discord, I think you'll find a really interesting group of people there. Never seen such a great Discord, actually. But they combine people with intelligence, with real emotion, real understanding, a lot of empathy flowing around in these group chats. But the thing is that most people are also trying to discover something. Everyone in these cryptocurrency communities is trying to improve either their bank balance, improve their knowledge, or improve the space in general. For me, that's actually the best part. Like a good example is Sam Bankman on Alameda. He's kind of looking at, from what I can tell, he's kind of looking at capitalism in the correct way. He's looking at it as in like, look, I'm going to make all this money, but I'm going to maintain my social responsibility, and I'm actually going to distribute some of this wealth, because not many people do that. There's a lot of charity out there, but doesn't really receive a lot from the top dogs. Sam, I don't know if you saw, but I saw he was number 2 on the cryptocurrency wealth list. Something crazy. He's just been absolutely killing it with FTX and Alameda Research and all Solana, all the things he's doing, absolutely killing it. And he's working redistribution channels into his systems. Why that hasn't been implemented over the last 150 years is a real tragedy, because the world would be a different place if it was. But with the invention of DeFi, of DeFi, I was scolded for saying DeFi. With the introduction of DeFi, we are allowed to do what we want with our riches, with our wealth. And Sam is a great guy in the public sphere, and he's showing people how it should be done. He's showing people how we can redistribute what's happening here and make it equal to people. On a lighter note, I'd just like to give some examples of what it is about cryptocurrency communities that people love so much. So I'm going to go here to Harvest, because Harvest, in my opinion, is the king of cryptocurrency community initiatives. For example, I'm just going to pull up this dashboard here. I don't know if you can see. The dashboard was a community initiative. Someone created it, got paid in farm for it, and is a happy bunny because of it. Here, the stats, also a community initiative. I mean, I'm part of the community initiative, right? Just a random dude they invited onto the team and have been incentivizing to show good work. And that's what we've been trying to do. I mean, look at this beautiful thing. It's got all kinds of analytics, all live charts, which will load. Just dynamic, well made, and it was all made by an anonymous team, a decentralized community, and someone did it off their own free will and has been rewarded for it. 88 MPH, this one here, I want to show you. This is really great. Here, the funding panel on the left. Okay, it says apply for funding, help 88 MPH grow. Okay, we provide grants for projects, initiatives, resources, NFTs, and events that encourage and develop the 88 MPH ecosystem and empower the community. Okay, community grants, ecosystem grants. Like if you have an idea, you can go here, you can apply for a grant using, by the way, Request to Network. I'm not sure if many people still have that on their radar. Real old boy. Nice to see it out in use. Yeah, you can come here, you can have your idea, you can get paid straight, cold, hard cash for your work, doing it from your home, and you set your own price, you create your own invoice, you justify it with your own words. And, the DAO will look at it and say, yep, this looks good. We've got these we've got this MPH in reserve that we've stacked from our wicked ass protocol, and we're going to use it to help grow the ecosystem. We're going to reward the people straight away for their work, and we're going to help grow everybody's bags. And it's just like, it's such a beautiful thing. Everyone working together, getting paid for what they deserve. And then all this together helps people's bags grow and then get more money. It's just like it's just a really great thing. Another one I'd like to show you is digital reserve currency. This is cool. Decentralized store of value. So this is a completely decentralized project, right? Everything runs from the DRC Foundation here. So here there's a wallet. So it's a project without any team members, right? So there's a wallet where people donate in order to fund the ecosystem to try and make it grow. And this is one of the greatest parts of the community. Like one of our great members, a guy called IFX, he made this NFT, super dope, a nice little GIF, 3D GIF of this is the DRC logo in here. And they said, right, well, how can we use this? So we're going to give it to everyone who donates 0.25 ETH or 0.25 ETH worth of DRC. And actually today, 100 out of 100 was claimed, which was really, really great. And he's super happy. He gets like a small cut of all the proceeds, and the community's super happy because look, this is all decentralized community work. It's just like the spirit of the community coming together is really, really mad. I mean, this one, I really love this one. This is the Harvest NFT. I wish the sound was on because it's so stupid. But this is the great thing about Harvest, right? They are able to produce what they want, create what they want, and it's like everyone kind of gets it. This here is everybody worshipping Bread. For those who don't know, Bread is the anonymous head developer figure of Harvest Finance. He's an absolute angel, one of my favorite people to speak to, and I literally only know him as Bread and as the emoji of bread. I don't know anything about him more than that, but I feel really close to him, and I'm super thankful for everything he's given me. But the fact that, look, this is just, hilarious, but it has value to people. And, the devs will do what they want with it in terms of incentivization. But the value it carries is kind of decided by the community. Coming to the end of my talk, and I wish I had this outro music to show you because it's really great outro music, but I don't. I'm going to quickly do a shameless shill of myself. This is my Twitter, at JB87 Crypto. I also have a cryptocurrency podcast called Coinstruct. You can check it out on YouTube or through my Twitter or on the website coinstruct.live. So please check that out. Just starting. Support the decentralized media landscape, please. But yeah, I actually wanted to segue into the final part, which was anyone can join this experience, which is my favorite part. You can go home and you can tell your friends, your grandma, your mum, your dad, and you'll get a lot of doubt at first, of course, and that doubt is part of the reason why this is such a lucrative space to be, because you have to deal with, the haters, right? Warren Buffett said some shit about it. He said, if people think you're crazy, then it's the best time to invest. And it's absolutely true. Uh, it's almost a bubble in itself in terms of community, because you go onto crypto Twitter and it's like a different universe. Everybody on crypto Twitter just gets it. They get it. They understand what crypto's about. They understand what decentralized finance is about, and they just kind of get what we're all trying to achieve here. There's certain banter, there's very esoteric terms, and you step outside of crypto Twitter, and it's like a it's like a different universe. I have a separate Twitter for my crypto doings, and one time I thought about retweeting onto my regular Twitter my crypto Twitter tweets, and I just thought it would be the weirdest thing, it would be like an alien landing on Earth trying to describe something. So I left it. I would like to thank Metagame and like to thank MetaFest. It's actually super late where I am, so I don't know if I'll be able to watch the rest of it. But I'd wonder if there's kind of any questions or anything. Someone said something about questions, and I've just chatted for 30 minutes. So I'd like to ask Penguin if there is any questions.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, so one of the things that you touched on that was one of the things that drew me to Harvest was just the fact that it was an anonymous team. Everyone behind it was anonymous, and especially in like the early days, there was like everyone was wondering, oh, is there going to be some kind of rug pull event? And the developing team has really proven to just be behind the community and have the best interests of people at heart. So as you say, like Bread has just been one of the leaders of DeFi that you just don't see every day. So I'm very thankful, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to give you guys a chance to come on and talk about some of the farming you're doing, because I love the meme quality. I love the community that you guys have built, and you guys have really taken a decentralized approach and community first approach to DeFi. That really says a lot. And one of the key things for me was the way that you guys do the numbers. Man, it's so addicting to just watch them go up that fast.
Oh, the tractor go burr. Yeah. Oh my goodness. The tractor does go burr. And when they first put that in, because we had discussions internally on the first kind of couple weeks, and they said, hey, we think people like to see number go up. And we were like, yeah, we do. And they put it in, and we all just kind of deposited our farm. And I remember I sat there for maybe 20 minutes just watching my number go up, recording it on my phone, sending it to my mates. Like, look at this number going up. So good.
Yeah, and it's like like behind the scenes that it's not accurate. It's doing its best to judge, but because it's the random nature of the tractor, you got to estimate.
Yeah, it is a random nature still, but it's a rough estimate, and it's very cathartic. It feels good to watch it.
So, what's been one of the hardest parts about leading a community with an Anon team?
Well, I mean, obviously it's the trust, right? So we just recently onboarded with a great PR company, and they are used to dealing with more traditional clients, and they're actually doing some really revolutionary work. They are allowing us to function as an anonymously headed organization. They're going to top publications, even The Guardian, BBC, these kind of places, and they're writing to them and saying, hey, look, these guys are changing the space, but the lead guy is a piece of bread. Can we work with you on this? And some of them are really, journalists are changing the way that they are operating with these businesses, because you can't ignore it. You can't ignore what's happening with Harvest. And if they are headed by a piece of bread, well, there's nothing you can do. You have to listen to what the bread says. And that's, for me, the trust is the hardest part, but we're doing things slowly through conduct, but also just by the psyche of the space is changing. We're proving to people that we are trustworthy, but the people themselves are becoming more trusting.
You bring up a great point that I'm sure we'll touch on throughout the day, like building up that trust layer and a trustless network.